Honorable Roger Clark, Minister of Agriculture and Fisheries, Mr. Donovan Stanberry, Permanent Secretary in the Ministry of Agriculture and Fisheries, the Honorable Ian Hales, Minister of State in the Ministry of Agriculture and Fisheries, Dr. Thomas Davidson, Medical Epidemiologist from the Ministry of Health, Dr. Balaram, Food Economist, Caribou Food and Nutrition Institute, members of Rada Board, specially invited guests from all our neighboring companies and institutions, ladies and gentlemen, it is my pleasure to welcome you to the first staging of the Rural Agricultural Development Authority's Wellness Day 2012. I want to offer a very special welcome to our two ministers who, despite their extremely busy schedule, have taken time out to be here. The theme of our Wellness Day is a healthy lifestyle, our aim, wellness, your gain. You may want to ask, why are we doing this? Rada recognizes that there is a risk of the workplace becoming a source of stress, discontent, and burnt out. This Wellness Day seeks to build support mechanism, increase staff morale, and strengthen work relationship. We believe that companies and institutions need to encourage health among their employees, and for Wellness Day 2012, we have developed specific services designed to meet that need. And I just want to pause for a minute to welcome our distinguished MP for the area, Andrew Hilton. Welcome. Yes. Becoming aware of employees' health risks can lead to specific goals and planning that will reduce these risks, ward off certain diseases and sicknesses, enhance health, increase job satisfaction, reduce absenteeism, and improve the productivity of the organization. The main objective of Wellness Day 2012 is therefore to raise the awareness of and provide information about various contemporary health topics, including HIV/AIDS, diet-related conditions, stress management, and other health and lifestyle issues. Good health is a shared responsibility of the state, the public sector, and the private sector, but the individual is the key in executing that responsibility. I do hope today will be a special day for all of us, and that what we do or learn here will provide another perspective on our health outlook. Today, ladies and gentlemen, is a part of our celebration of our nation attaining 50 years of independence. We owe it to ourselves to be healthy and to be a productive nation. Once again, a warm welcome to you all. And just shifting the tile a little as chairperson, I'm now going to invite the Permanent Secretary in the Ministry of Agriculture and Fisheries to bring greetings, Mr. Donovan Stanberry. Please give him a round of applause for me.
Oh, distinguished friends from CFNI, I've been consistent. And our friends from Ministry of Health. I'm very happy that Rada has put on this wellness fair today, and has really bought into the ministry's vision, because we do have a wellness function every year as a ministry, and perhaps starting next year, if we are all alive, then we'll have just one big thing, Mr. Paul, both ministry and Rada. So we're very happy to be here. I don't know if Maya Chung and those people at Rada had a premonition, because when they took the T-shirt to me this morning, it was XL, and usually my size is XXL. Anyway, I'm having an XXL today, and I challenge you that if I'm here next year, it will be XL. The problem with wellness in Jamaica is that we're cultured the wrong way. As a youngster growing up with my grandmother, every time you don't want to eat something, they give you a little incentive that if you eat it, you'll be big and fat. And that's why I'm this big. Because anytime, no matter how the thing tastes bad, once a year that you're going big and fat, you eat it. But we have come to learn, ladies and gentlemen, that though we have abundance of food as a country, and we are blessed for that, and we are happy for the efforts of our farmers and the ministry in ensuring that we have adequate food. But if we don't have the right kind of food and we don't eat it in the right proportion, it's also a problem. And I think that it is very, very important and very appropriate that the ministry takes the lead in conjunction with our partners in the Ministry of Health and so on to demonstrate in a tangible way a healthy lifestyle that has so many benefits, not only for individuals, but even for the health and well-being of the nation. We in this ministry try to do our part in terms of promoting wellness. I think the Ministry of Agriculture, I dare say under my leadership, probably is the only ministry in Jamaica that has its own gym. And you can clap for that. And we do encourage our members to go there and work out. We spend quite a bit of money outside the budget on our playing field so that our people can have facilities for recreation and so on. And most of all, we try to engender an atmosphere in the ministry that makes a good and healthy relationships, because sometimes wellness has to do with our environment, our emotional health, the stress-free environment that we try to create here, all contribute to a wealthy workplace. And just look at the people in the ministry, see how they're happy, and they look the picture of health. So we are practicing what we preach. So Rada, I'm very happy to be here, and we will continue to have this year by year. Thank you very much.
Yeah. At the Ministry of Agriculture, I noticed Permanent Secretary lost about 40 pounds. But Minister Clark will tell you, you have to have guts to live in this country. But I would like to encourage this kind of effort. I, for one, I believe is a person that believes in eating right or reasonably right. That is, of course, we just came out of that period. So I've learned to diet. But some years ago, I just tell you a quick story. Some years ago, I remember Father Bunting, Peter Bunting's father, I used to service his car at my place. And I used to have this problem with burning stomach. Everything I eat burn my stomach. And one day he said to me, boy, you know, you should read this book, Fit for Life. And it speaks about what you eat, but not only what you eat, but how you eat. And then I got onto my fruit diet, Minister Clark, in the mornings, you know. I have my fruit plate, no more ackee and, well, I eat ackee and saltfish too, but no more eggs and bacons kind of thing, you know. And can't, but eating right. I know when I go to a restaurant, I have no problems in telling people, look here, I'll have a steamed fish, but I don't want no rice, I don't want no dumpling. I'll give more me yam and my banana and my potato. And that's my essential diet generally. Of course I rub some jerk pork now and then, you know, and so on. But so it's not that I'm a fanatic at anything. But I believe in you should treat yourself well and try and eat as best as possible. Let me add to the chairman's welcome to you all, not only the staff at this great office, but the visitors to this wonderful constituency of Eastern St. Andrew. I often brag that this was the part of the constituency of the great Norman Washington Manley. And so I'm very proud to be the Member of Parliament, and I hope that the Minister of Agriculture will join me in trying to establish, I've been talking to the minister, in some of our inner city communities where people want to raise chicken, they want to rear bee, they want to do ornamental fish. So agriculture is not far from us in this area. Not sure how much banana and yam we can plant there, but certainly we want to get involved with agriculture in our own way. But I am very happy to be here, very delighted to be a part of this program, and I encourage you to continue. Thank you very much.
Let me acknowledge the Minister of Agriculture and Fisheries, Honorable Roger Clark, Minister of State, Ian Hales, the MP for the area, Andre Hilton, distinguished guests here at the head table, distinguished guests in the audience, the Ministry of Agriculture and Rada team. Certainly it is a pleasure being here today, and also to bring greetings on behalf of the Minister of Health. Unfortunately, he was unable to make it today, but I know this is an area which is dear to our heart. And really, I am certainly going to ensure that we follow up on the Permanent Secretary's speech that agriculture will be taking the lead in wellness and working along with the Ministry of Health. And I think this is critical because we have seen a lot of persons really impacted by the epidemic of chronic diseases. And more we know that nutrition is critical, not only just part of a lifestyle, but also in the treatment of persons with chronic diseases and without. So without any ado, I'm going to go on to the minister's message. And this is an address by our Honorable Dr. Fenton Ferguson. It is with a deep sense of appreciation that I address your launch of Wellness Day. I say appreciation because it is an idea whose time has come, one that the Ministry of Health and myself as minister have championed consistently. Healthy living and wellness are central to the future viability of our nation and the well-being of all Jamaicans. As important as economic growth and social stability are to any nation, none of these factors are as important as having a healthy population. Indeed, such achievements depend to some degree on having a healthy workforce. Healthy living, including healthy food and nutrition, avoidance of alcohol and tobacco, regular exercise and relaxation are central to achieving health and assisting in reducing the prevalence of non-communicable diseases or lifestyle diseases such as diabetes, stroke, and hypertension. These avoidable illnesses take a heavy toll on our limited health resources. Agriculture and health are a natural fit in this regard, and I am happy to encourage Rada in this initiative and hope that you will make it a permanent fixture on your calendar, much like the Caribbean Wellness Day, which is observed in September by all of our Caribbean nations. Workplace wellness is critical as a large number of Jamaicans spend the majority of their time at their workplaces. I know this view is appreciated by Rada staff and that the Ministry of Agriculture are beneficiaries of gym equipment funded by the Healthy Lifestyle Project of my ministry. Our collaboration, however, needs to be deepened, particularly with regard to some of the issues upheld by the high-level meeting of the UN General Assembly on the prevention and control of non-communicable diseases, which took place September last, with regard to encouraging policies that support the production, manufacture of, and facilitating access to foods that contribute to healthy diets. Concurrently, we need to be of one accord in promoting the World Health Organization recommendations on the marketing of foods and non-alcoholic beverages to children, including foods that are high in saturated fats, trans fatty acids, free sugars or salt, consistent with existing legislation, as foods high in these contents are contributing significantly to the spread of these unhealthy choices from the early years. According to WHO estimates, 36 million of the 57 million global deaths were due to non-communicable diseases, principally cardiovascular diseases, cancers, chronic respiratory diseases, and diabetes. 9 million of those deaths occurred in persons below the age of 60. And we know most of us are below the age of 60 here today. What is even more frightening, ladies and gentlemen, is that 80% of those deaths occurred in developing countries such as Jamaica. And Jamaica statistics show that about over 60% of the deaths are due to non-communicable diseases. As we all know, the most prominent non-communicable diseases are linked to common risk factors such as tobacco use, harmful use of alcohol, and unhealthy diet, and lack of physical activity. We must confront these risks if we are to save lives and improve the quality of life of the Jamaican people. While we in the health sector are primarily concerned with prevention, treatment, and care, we must remain acutely attuned to the social determinants of health, such as poverty, lack of education, poor housing, and urbanization that give general rise to poverty. The challenges that we face in health demand that we increase multi-sectoral interventions, deepen our capacity for participatory governance, and strengthening mechanisms for non-governmental organizations and other non-state collaborations. In keeping with this urgency that is demanded, the Ministry of Health will finalize the National Strategic Plan on Non-Communicable Diseases during the first quarter of the new fiscal year. We'll also establish a disease registry, starting with a cancer registry, hypertension and diabetes registry, and give support to the renal registry. We have started the reorientation of the health system with an emphasis on primary health care renewal, and this will help us to focus on non-communicable diseases. I'm therefore pleased to announce that we're moving closer to the completion of the infant and young child feeding policy with the completion of the concept paper for the consideration of the cabinet. And our minister is in the process of doing that right now. A lot remains to be done, but Jamaica is not alone. The UN high-level meeting on prevention and control of non-communicable diseases represented a major development on the global agenda to establish a framework that will allow a whole of government and a whole of society response. Jamaica and the rest of the Caribbean member countries can feel justifiably proud of the work that we did in advocating for the establishment of a global framework on non-communicable diseases and for the inclusion of the related goals and targets in the UN Millennium Development Goals. I note that your Wellness Day includes activities for the entire family, and I commend this approach. A healthy family is a wealthy family, and good eating habits and healthy lifestyles need to begin at home. Once again, I congratulate you on your initiative and wish you every success. Thank you, and this is the message of the Minister of Health.
Mr. Chairman, colleague Minister, Dr. Davis, Dr. Baliram, Permanent Secretary, Member of Parliament for the Ministry of Agriculture, Andrew Hilton, Chief Technical Director, Dr. Panton, Rada staff, Ministry of Agriculture staff, distinguished ladies and gentlemen. The Permanent Secretary said he had a grandmother who used to induce him to eat something and get something more to eat. Well, I had two grandmothers. and I also had some grandaunts. Yeah. Be that as it may, I regard this function here this morning as a subtle way of sending a signal to me to be physically fit to tackle the myriad problems of the Ministry of Agriculture. Let me therefore thank you for that gentle reminder. Just to say that I have quietly taken off a little. Can you agree? Yes. Hold up your hand and say yes. Yes. And I intend to take off some more. I must point out that with the limitations of my knee, I still do some exercise. And there's hardly anybody in here who can dance better than me. And if you think I'm joking, turn up the music, right? But I hear that the permanent secretary is into it. He told me he walked 3 miles this morning. Don't blame me for how I look. The fact is that, you know, when you check on some of the farmers today, growing pigs and goats and even fish, they tell you that they have a problem with conversion. The animals eat plenty but don't put on weight. Well, if you want to buy a good animal, buy one with my kind of genes. Anything I eat, I put on weight. So it's not the amount, because you see those slim people, they have their bellies in their backs. And they can't really eat. I want to commend the organizers for putting on this event and taking the initiative to highlight the importance of wellness in terms of production. The prevalence of lifestyle diseases and the impact on the Jamaican workforce behoves us to take note and begin to adhere to the principles of wellness and healthy living so that service delivery cannot be compromised. Initiatives such as the Eat Jamaican campaign are geared to achieving those goals of healthy living. The most recent foray into the school feeding program, where we are introducing fruit juices instead of the bag juice and so forth, is also a step in that direction, and we intend to build upon that. We want to start our young ones right. And they say you can't bend the tree when it is too old. So you have to start them early and get them into the mode of eating healthy. Backyard gardening is also another area of emphasis, where right at home you can begin to grow your vegetables and healthy foods. Because I must say this, that when it comes to vegetables, I think Jamaicans don't eat enough vegetables. And it is so because even from childhood days, the young ones shy away from it. They don't want to eat vegetables. Well, as for me and rice and that sort of thing, and you know, PS didn't plant enough for me up to now. But we're going to plant some, but I don't eat rice. I prefer my real Jamaican banana, a little piece of yam, you know, and I'm told that that is good. I compromise with Arnold. PS, PS, PS tells me that, he doesn't. I was in St. James on Monday with him. And sitting to my right was the Costas and his wife. And on my left was the permanent secretary. And there was this lady who came to tell us what the offerings were. And she said they had jerk pork and PS looked in the other direction. And then they told the Costas the same thing and he looked in the other direction. When I realized I was sitting among 3 Adventists. So I had to tell the lady, bring theirs to me. I will. So, so I will deal with it. I don't like the fat part. But the ribs and that part, and I can see it in your faces, all of you love pork. Who don't eat pork, hold up your hand. You have come under some very, very awful influence from the permanent secretary. But I am here to change that. I'm here to change that. Rada, and in particular this ministry, support the fact that good nutrition is a cornerstone of healthy living. Rada accepts its role in ensuring the production of good quality, safe foods produced in quantities which will make them affordable and accessible to the most vulnerable of our population. Very often, however, agricultural development policies and programs fail to recognize or give due consideration to the linkage between food production and the nutritional needs of the consuming population. As a result, we produce without important consideration to this important relationship. A key objective of RADA speaks to the diversification of agriculture to increase the value of its contribution to nutritional needs and the national development. In achieving this objective, RADA has adopted a value chain approach to the business of agriculture from the field to the fork. This means agriculture is looked at not just from the production side of the crop, but with equal emphasis on good post-harvest handling in marketing, packaging, processing, food preparation, and consumption. This is to enable improved production and productivity levels, better quality and safe foods, while at the same time stimulating economic activities at each link of the supply chain. The Social Services Home Economics Unit is an important unit in this value chain concept. Its officers consistently remind us of the interconnection between food production and nutrition. This unit works with some 2,000 farm families, making sure that their nutritional needs are met and that they take responsibility for their well-being. The transference of knowledge and enabling of skills relating to diet and nutrition, food production through backyard gardens, food processing, home management, and resource utilization, as well as cottage industry development, are all geared at improving the nutritional status and the overall quality of life of these families. While we understand fully the role of food in achieving wellness, we are also mindful of the fact that eating right is just one of the several elements of healthy living, and so we have asked other organizations and institutions to partner with us in presenting a holistic view of healthy living. We thank them for their participation. And as we speak, we are in the process of putting together a nutrition policy, which will be led by the Ministries of Health, Agriculture, and Education. And we intend to put that policy in place shortly. We want to create an atmosphere where we can create wellness throughout the country. I am told that staff members and patrons of today's event will benefit from a range of offerings, including ECG and HIV tests, body mass index measure, pressure and blood sugar tests, and the list goes on. I want to encourage all of you to take advantage of these offerings. Ladies and gentlemen, today is the start, and we hope that this will continue on an annual basis. As the Permanent Secretary has said, the ministry itself does something like this. We want a collaboration between both the ministry and RADA, because indeed they're one. I believe that healthy living must be the order of the day. What better place for that initiative to start than at the Ministry of Agriculture, where we produce the food. I promise you that I will live up to your expectations. Next year, I think my thing this was 3x. It used to be 5x. I don't want you to pressure me too much. Next year, 2x. And hear me good. Slim people, sometimes not as fit as some of us, who they say are fat. June, I'll be 72. Do I look it? Anybody want to test me? I can still run. Ladies and gentlemen, it is good for us to be here, and I'm happy to be associated with this function. Congratulations once again to RADA and the people who have conceptualized this. And I want to thank those of you who are partnering with us in this grand occasion. Thank you very much.
Well, I'd like to introduce my fellow RADA staff members, starting off with Kadia. Just say hi, Kadia. She's over there. They're all over there waiting to give you the elements of healthy living. We've got Celia, we've got Kalisha, we've got Kay, and we've got Uri. And my name is Maya. And we are the representatives of the elements of living well. A healthy lifestyle requires that the body, mind, and spirit work together. So you may ask the obvious question, what are the elements of healthy living? Kadia?
Cornerstone for a healthy lifestyle. Eat lots of fruits and vegetables daily. Exercise regularly. Participate in some enjoyable physical activities.
Rest your mind and spirit. All work and no play not only make Jack a dog boy, but also
last but not least. Variety is the spice of life and is essential for maintaining a healthy lifestyle.
So ladies and gentlemen, wellness, we all need the 5 elements for living a healthy lifestyle. Do you agree or don't you? And all work and no play makes Jack